So week 9 is a very interesting week, okay? And this is something that I really dove into, so stay with me here. The first day of the week. Not only is it Tom Holland's birthday, but it's also Marilyn Monroe's birthday, Morgan Freeman, and Amy Schumer's birthday. Like, those are iconic people to all be born on the same day. Now stay with me. Also, on the Tuesday, it's National Rocky Road Day. What does that even mean? Does that mean the ice cream? Because if so, I'm there. I'm ready. June 2nd, great day. Soon, June 3rd, repeat day. Do you hear me? I said repeat day. That means that you should repeat everything that you do that day or say that day, because I'm sure everyone will love to live with you more if you do that on the 3rd. Now we're rolling into June 4th. It's Applesauce Cake Day. Doesn't make sense to you? That's okay, because it's Hug Your Cat Day. Still doesn't apply to you? Me neither. National Cheese Day. That's okay. They're all the same day. It's fantastic. And then we roll into June 5th. That's the end of this school week. And we have a very important day. It is National Donut Day. And I don't know about you guys, but I take that day very seriously. So your expectations for this week are to fill out the Google form and to work on your culminating. That's it, that's all. We've got 2 this week, folks. Google form. I know you've never heard this from me before, but it's important you fill out your Google form. That's expectation number 1. So you need to click on the link, go through the different questions in the form, and if you're having any trouble accessing it, let me know. This is so routine. It's almost something that needs to not be said, but I'm still gonna say it as a reminder. That's our first expectation. So, the culminating as a whole, and this is me reading from the assignment PDF that should be linked on your D2L main page. It says, now that your grade 9 year is coming to an end, a very unique end, it's right to take some time to reflect on how it went. This will allow you to be honest with yourself about the person you have become and how faith has shaped this. It is important you give full thought for your answers that are honest and not what you expect the teacher wants you to hear. This is an important piece for me. I want you to do some reflection that is true to you. I don't want you to write down what you think you want me to hear. I want you to write what you've truly experienced over this last school year. So your ability to critique yourself and to understand the impact of your decisions that you've made throughout the year are really important in this culminating. So this is also an opportunity for you to show off your creative side. So you can fill out this culminating in any format that you choose. I'm going to provide you with a culminating shell similar to I did with the Beatitude assignment, but please do not feel like you're limited to that. Okay, and I'll get a little bit into that in a second. So your culminating has been broken down into 5 different parts. So we've got part 1, school life, part 2, relationships, part 3, faith, part 4, self, and part 5, St. James 2020-2021. Okay, so looking forward. So in this first week of working on your culminating, you're going to focus on only doing parts 1, 2, and 3. And the reason that we've done this and separated part 1, 2, and 3 into the first week and part 4 and 5 into the second week is because with the 3 hours per course per week that you've been adjusted during this online time, that's the amount of time it'll take per week for each of those parts. So you shouldn't be doing parts 1 to 5 all in the first week, because either you've gone over your 3 hours or you haven't provided enough detail. So the task says on your assignment sheet, creatively answer the following questions below. Note that it says creatively, okay? And you'll focus on two questions for each section, okay? So there's going to be parts like school life that you can see from the bullets there. There's 6 questions. You get to choose the 2 that you'd like to talk about. But then there's going to be sections like faith that there only are 2 questions, so you have to answer both of those. Okay? So really important to not make extra work for yourself. You won't get a better mark for doing more questions per section. You're only doing the 2 questions per part, okay? I asked in the Zoom call last week if people would like to have a culminating shell similar to the Beatitude shell, just to be able to organize thoughts and such and to be able to visualize the assignment. You're welcome to use the assignment shell that's been provided for you, but just be aware that on the slides, so for example, part 1, if you're going through the slideshow, there's the hello everyone, because you're going to need to make a copy of the shell, and then there's just an intro saying that it's the culminating. Then under part 1, I've left the questions for you to choose from, and then there's 2 slides for the questions that are being asked. So if you actually slide down the culminating shell, you'll see, for example, in part 3, how I've laid it out so that the question is already in there, because there was only 2 questions for part 3 that you could choose from, so you have to answer both. But you'll see how I have the question up top, and then room for your answer. And then the only way that I could think of being creative in this sort of setup would be to add some sort of visual to what you're talking about, whether that's a visual from a memory that you have, that you've uploaded to your computer in a photo, or if that's something that you're finding from the internet, that's fine as well. But I don't want you to feel like you are confined to a Google Slides presentation. I've had people in the past that have done videos very similar to the way that I am with you. So what I've done is I just have my phone set up. I have a bunch of clips where I'd answer the questions verbally, or students have answered the questions verbally. And then using a program like iMovie, you can just stitch it together so you don't have to do any typing at all. There's also people in the past that have created visual images of what they're trying to portray. So I had a student once that did a football field, and each down, I don't know football very well, so I might be describing this wrong, and if I'm butchering football, I'm so sorry for my football fans. Each down was a different part of their life. So their school life was one down, and their relationships were a second down, and their faith was another down, and their self was another down, and then looking to their future was like, I was about to call it a home run. That's not what it is. A touchdown. Then they finally got to a touchdown at the end of the project. And if that's how you'd like to show it, then that's fine. As long as you're answering the 2 questions per part, then you can be as creative as you'd like to be. So for part 1, if you go to either the culminating assignment or you go to the shell, whatever you're working from, you can see that there's 6 different bullets, so 6 different questions. So has the transition from elementary to secondary been smooth or challenging? Explain. Do you like working in semesters more or less than working in subjects all year round? Were exams difficult? Was your biggest fear coming into high school? What was it? And how did you manage that fear? What was the biggest success during grade 9? What was your biggest regret? So from those 6 questions, you're only going to choose 2 that you gravitate towards. Okay, and those are the 2 that you're going to answer for that part. So once you've answered those 2 questions for part 1, then move on to part 2. And of the 4 questions there, you're going to pick 2 that you like the best. And then for faith, there only is the 2 questions, so you're only going to answer those 2. Okay? So similar to on exams, when you get a choice for a long answer question, it's similar for that, but think about it as 2 short answer questions. Okay? So if you're going to ask for how long it should be, as you guys know, I don't like putting minimums or maximums on work. Because some of you are going to get your point across more succinctly, and I don't want you to just be padding your answers just to hit a word limit for me. I want you to answer the question to your full capability. I want you to reflect on if there's any examples of you living through that experience that you're explaining or that situation that you're explaining. And then I want you to try and do it in the most creative way that you can think of how. So if that is putting it in the culminating shell and adding a specific visual, it's that. If it's something that you want to create a little bit differently. If you want to run it by me first, that's fine. If not, and you feel like you're on the right track, go for it. And so you know, our Zoom call on Wednesday you're more than welcome to ask me questions during that time. So I can go through some examples with you if you need that then, or you can email me during any time of the week and I'll try my best to get back to you within the day, but if not, within the next 24 hours, okay? So please reach out if you need help. And I think that's it for that. And as I leave you, I'm gonna play a little piece of one of my favorite songs, as many of you know, and my grade 11s will definitely razz me for, because yes, I love Macklemore. And I think that this song is important right now because you guys are so close to the end, and I know that under the current circumstances, it's so easy to just want to stop trying. But I implore you, I encourage you, I'm here to support you in moving forward and taking this as an opportunity to really do as well as you can possibly do in these courses. Have a great week. You can do this.